Hello, it's Classy here, back with another Tribes video, and today I will be teaching you guys how to build teams for Flashback Genealogy. So at the start of every new Flashback Genealogy event, you always want to check the types of the units you're facing and what they can do. So you always want to make sure you understand their kits. So this will be kind of like a lesson by example. I'll show you my thinking as I approached Master 1 and Master 2. So the strategy for both are going to be pretty similar overall. It's basically just about maximizing damage and trying to finish off whoever the opponents are. So now we're going to go into two different teams. We have a nuke style team and a tribe style team. So the thing about the nuke style team is that you need specific units, more specific units that are better for this type of mode, and you also need your units to be more buffed up. And obviously this might be difficult. There are some players who don't have all the units. There are some players who haven't upgraded their units that much. So that's why in my case the nuke style team actually didn't work. I wasn't able to beat it all the way. I got pretty good percentages on Master 1, but I wasn't able to beat it. But despite that, I will still go over what I'm talking about with the nuke style team. What you basically want is to have nukes in force and spirit, and you can have supportive units in energy. And by supportive units, I'm talking about buffers. Sai is essential. You can't really beat Flashback Genealogy without Sai, because he just gives chakra to everyone. And you know, it's always important to have buffers. It depends on who you really have, but there are a lot of great T unit buffers to use here. They don't even have to be fully T units, but the best ones are T units. So that's why I'm using them. So that's pretty cool. And obviously, when you get to turn 5, since the turn order will always be Force, Spirit, Energy, Force, Spirit, you'll always co-op on turn 5. So that's why you want some pretty powerful nukes in Spirit. Same for Force also. And why did I put these 3 units in Spirit specifically? It's because they all start with 5k initial chakra. So after turn 1, I attack with these units, and then it goes to Spirit, and all of their chakra bars will be full on turn 2 because of Sai giving chakra over time. And that's why I put them here, because I would rather have 3 units that can jutsu on turn 2 and also co-op on turn 5 for heavy damage, rather than just have 3 units that just normal attack or skill 2, which is just not as effective, and you probably won't be able to beat it otherwise. And there are other better units to put in Spirit that have the 5k initial chakra vitality. So that includes Obito. He's really, really good for this, and unfortunately I don't have him. I'm talking about Kid Obito, by the way. And yeah, UR Heavy's really good for this. Santa Naruto, everyone should have him buffed up, so put him in here as well. Obviously, take into account the generic principles for team building, you know, putting the debuffers first or / buffers first, you know, etc. That's why I have KCM first, so you can do all those big buffs. In Force, if you have insta-jutsu like KCM and Kakashi, you would want to put them here because they can attack with jutsus on turn 1, so you don't have to rely on skill 2. And also, if you're level 85, by the time you rotate back, Kakashi will have full chakra. Otherwise, you'll need Kakashi to get hit. And yeah, KCM is absolutely busted for this game mode. So just like any other game mode, if you have him, put him in. Make sure you know where to put him though. And the other Force character, I have Kid Sasuke here. Not necessarily for the chakra generation, but let's say I was level 84, then he'd be good to have here. Because in the case that Kakashi doesn't get hit, then I don't have to reset. But either way, you can put other A nukes here, like A Narukage, preferably someone who has a good skill 2, because probably not another insta-jutsu unit that you can put here. Like, the only other one is Kiba, really, and I don't really think he's good enough to be put here, but you can try him. But yeah, just any other A nuke. Sasori, you can replace him with another A nuke like Obito. I already mentioned that, but yeah, this is a pretty simple strategy. You basically just want to swing full out and then co-op on turn 5. For the energy units, for Sai, always swipe up to see if you have the skill 2, so you can buff all allies attack. Kid Kakashi in this case, since I don't really have T units to buff, I'm not using his skill 2. I'm using him for the debuff with his jutsu against the D unit, which is Madara. And yeah, that's like pretty much what I have to say about Nuke Team. Hopefully this makes sense. There are a lot of different ways you can approach this, but that's why I mentioned examining who your opponents are. So we have Kabuto and Madara. So Kabuto is the T unit who can debuff your team, so you have to stun him here. So you want to stun him on turn 2 so he can't jutsu, and then by turn 4 you want to try to finish him off. This applies to both the Nuke and the Tribe style teams. And Madara is like a pretty tanky D unit, so that's why I have Kid Kakashi here, so you can debuff on jutsu, and also Kid Kakashi gives offensive buffs every single turn as well. So yeah, that's pretty much the concept that I'm going to share right now. And for this Tribe style team, you'll notice that my team power is actually pretty low. You can beat Master 1 with the pretty low power if you do this right. My Tribe is not fully upgraded at all, so it's only like level 17 or something like that, and the awakening is not very high either. So if you really buffed up this Tribe, which you should have for ATB, then feel free to just pop it in. It does not have to be this Tribe, guys. It can be any Tribe that you want that really does that high damage single target. For example, Connected Feelings, Bonded by Rasengan is really good against D units, which is what's happening in this case because we have Madara. Also, the Tribe with Papa Sasuke, T Boruto, and Narukage is pretty good too. Just some ideas. A lot of tribes will work here as long as you do the rest of the team building correctly and you have the Tribe buffed up. Remember to buff the characters as well, because the Tribe scales off of the character's offensive stats, like the attack stats. And yeah, so you'll notice the force is the same here. You can replace Sasuke here with like any other A nuke, really, and you can even try to put like Toby or maybe some kind of other debuffer just to do more damage with your Tribe. But I really like having the other A nuke here, and I'll explain why in a second. And obviously for energy, similar to ATB, you just pop the support units inside the energy cell. The reason I have Shikamaru on the energy cell right now is because I want to kill Kabuto by turn 4, and I also want to prevent him from jutsuing. As I said before, if he jutsus, he'll debuff your team and you won't be able to do as much damage. So Shikamaru is just another stun, which means I don't have to reset for Mitsuki skill 2, which is just really, that's just a lot of work to keep resetting for that. So that's why I have Shikamaru here. Heavy debuffs, so Force can kill off Kabuto by turn 4. And that brings me to the general strategy of the Tribe strat. Basically what happens is you want to actually use the Tribe on turn 5 to one-shot Madara. So basically in the generic case, you one-shot one of the units with the Tribe. And the other 4 turns are spent attacking the other unit so you can kill him. So for example, on turn 1, I attack Instajutsu here. I skill 2, normal attack, doesn't really matter here. And then I Instajutsu for Kakashi on Kabuto. Turn 2, I try to get as many skill 2s as I can on Kabuto, just attack him full out. Same for energy, swipe up for the Sai skill 2. And in this case, since I'm using 2 T units here, I swipe up for Kid Kakashi skill 2 as well to buff my whole Tribe, because he buffs attack for 2 units. Shikamaru, I obviously use the jutsu here so you can get the stun off, so Kabuto is denied, and also he debuffs. So on turn 4, I swing out with 3 heavy A nuke jutsus, then I kill off Kabuto. Then on turn 5, after all of these buffs to my spirit cell, I hit Madara with the Tribe special, and then I completely one-shot him. And yeah, that's basically the generic strategy. This works. It's similar to ATB, similar, because in ATB you don't need the other nukes here, you want more support and Jiraiya so you can tribe multiple times. But for FGs, it's only 5 turns. You'll need to tribe once here. And yeah, this has been working out very well. I've been recommending this to both of my alliances. It has a really high success rate. Like overall, I feel like this is probably stronger than the nuke strategy just because you don't need to buff up your units so much, and you don't have to have specific units. You can really use any tribes here. You can replace the units as you please, as long as you have the most crucial ones. And yeah, so if you guys are struggling with FG, make sure to try out this tribe strategy. Hopefully you understood my thought process behind how I built this team, and you can use this as a template. But for future FGs, try to keep some of these concepts in mind when you're approaching how to team build to defeat Master 1 or Master 2. And yeah, if you're a higher level player working to beat Master 2, you can definitely try some of this out as well. It should work pretty well, especially if you have your tribe fully built up. And yeah, hopefully you guys enjoy. And I'm actually planning to do a very special video soon about calculating unit power and unit power increase. And this is obviously geared towards frames. So if you're really trying to get a frame, I'm going to show you all the math behind how to do it. It's going to be a lot of math. So, we'll be back to math class very shortly, guys. Hope you enjoyed the video. Hope you learned something. See you in the next one.